Hey everyone, this is Judi with JLBCrafts. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for giving me a try. I can't believe we're starting April. When I was working on these words last week, I was like, April already, wow. So anyway, we get to do ascenders this month. B, D, H, and K. J is not an ascender, but you guys would not believe how hard it is to follow my rules on letters that start, or words that start with the letter, words that end with the letter, and words that have the double letter in between. Some of these letters are so hard. So B wasn't a problem. That's what we're doing this week. Bunt, bull, abbey, vibe, club, lamb. D wasn't super hard either, but basically there are no words with a double H and a double K unless you go into really, really long compound words. So I had to break my rules. I don't have any doubles in the H or the K. I did end up finding a word that ended with a double J, Hajj. That is the pilgrimage that people go on. So these are the words. I tried, like I always do, to stick to just 4-letter words. So anyway, enough about this. You can find this. You can either screenshot it right here, right now, and print it out, or you can find it in the description box. There are links to my Instagram and my Facebook page, and you can get an actual picture, not a screenshot, in either of those two places. So okay, let's go ahead and go. I'm not doing Easter for this week. I am going to do Sakura though, which, having spent time in Japan during Sakura season, I love Sakura, and my friends in Japan on Facebook have been posting all their beautiful, and on Instagram have been posting all their beautiful Sakura pictures. The cherry blossoms are coming out. The cherry tree in our backyard here in the Pacific Northwest is lagging behind, but that pretty much always happens. It's cooler here than there. So I'm going to use, as I mentioned before, the Planners Anonymous petal stickers. That's what they're called. It's a roll of individual stickers that are just layered over top of each other. So I've got both of the rolls. This one is whole blossoms, and there are several different designs on the roll. And then this one is just individual petals, but again, there are several different designs. We can put these together to make full flowers, or just put them on here separately. So I'm definitely going to use those. I've been waiting. I haven't used them anywhere else yet. And then I'm also going to use a couple of the regular washi tape rolls that came from the kit. So I'm going to put this wider one across the top with a little bit of a pink accent, and then I'm going to put this skinny one across the bottom because I just think I would have trouble fitting any sorts of fragments of petals down here. So I'm going to get started, and then of course I'm going to use all pink pens for my lettering practice. So I'm just going to kind of center this in the space because it's skinnier than the space. I'm going to center this in the space across the bottom of the page. Just to bring, like I said, I'm strategically using some of the dark at the very top and the very bottom, just to kind of give a little bit of relief to all that same shade of pink. And then it's going to look really fantastic with my 4 different lettering pens. Especially the Guanya is going to pick up this darker color that's at the very bottom. So stay tuned during the second half of the video for that. Okay, for the top, I think I want to keep this darker washi tape just kind of toward the centers because I need to go around April. So I have an uneven rip on this one. So I'm just going to kind of center it here in the space. Actually, I want to leave myself a little gap because I also want to put, I actually want to put a little, since this is lighter, I want it to be under the dark. So I'm going to use a little bit of this in the center of the space, just as an accent color. And I'm starting on this side because I have to go around April. I can go as far as I want on this side, but I want to make them kind of similar. So I'll match to to the part of the page on the other side to what I end up with on this side. So there we go. And then I think on the other side of April and on the rest of this right hand side as well, I will put a couple blossoms or petals. I'm going to put the blossoms down the center for sure. So if I come to about maybe here, about 2/3 of the way across. So let's go ahead and put this on first. About there. There we go. Just for a little more accent. Just to add a little bit of interest. Now I've got some dark at the top and some dark at the bottom. All right, now what's left is for me to grab my, sorry, you can't see the top. There we go. These big pages, they get me every single time, you guys. Okay, so the way these work, I'm just gonna start sprinkling these around. And I will cut my pages apart and repunch. There we go. So the only problem with these is finding the end. And I'll go in between the punches whenever I can, so. That one wants to stick right there. It decided. This is a neat idea in theory, but practically it's a little bit, it is a little bit tedious. Ah! Like that. Okay, maybe we can put that one across the rip. I'm finding which one is on top, where my end is. Oh, that one's ripping too. This one's got kind of a flattish bottom. It's too big though. I'm losing my spot. There we go. This one's kind of flat. I think that's might be all I'm gonna do for whole flowers. Okay, so there's that one. Now let's fill in the rest of the way with the petals. So I have that roll here. They have slightly different designs, each of them, so I don't think I want to put a bunch down the center. It's making it look too full. I think I'll go around the edges with these. I think I'll go ahead and cut them in half in advance. Yeah, I don't want this to look super crowded. Maybe I could put some this way, just to make it look a little more random. I don't ever do that. It's a little bit busy, but I think once the pen is on there, it's all of the florals won't be quite so obvious. I did have one little bit I needed to trim here. Okay, let's cut it apart and punch it. We're gonna put sticky side to sticky side so that we can punch this and hopefully not have it get stuck in the punch. My assignment little boxes, I pulled this Colorful Boxes book from, I have marked 2019, because it's got these cute little, well, at first I thought I would use these, but I think I like, or no, were those the ones I was going to use? Those are nice and skinny, and it's several different pink colors between the pastel page. Or was I going to use, I wasn't going to use these because they're actually pretty wide. So let's go ahead and just mix. I was thinking I would use maybe this pink and the really, really pastel one. And just write my words right on top of the swishes. I think they'll show up just fine with a nice black fine pen. So I'm just going to go every other one. actually, so I don't end up with these right across from these, I'm going to stagger these each down one. Just, I know, it's pretty minor, but that's the way my brain works. Want anything to be too matchy-matchy. Go to the page. There are plenty. I could do all of them with that, but I just want to mix it up a little. Here we go. I wanted to use these super light ones too. And there were only 6 of these, so I had to mix colors if I wanted to use these. Okay, and that is it. Let me grab my fine black pen and we'll go ahead and write the assignments in. So I did reduce us to just practicing one letter because my assumption now is that we're going to warm up over here. For me, I'm going to use ACE. For you, I recommend whatever word has a lot of letters that you struggle with. So if you've been following me up to now, you know why I chose ACE. My A's, my C's, my E's, they aren't very repetitive. They're not very smooth. So that is the perfect letter for me to warm up with. So we're going to start this week. We're going to learn the letter B. Incidentally, I am dyslexic. And the word I struggled with the most, or the letters I struggled with the most, are lowercase b's and lowercase d's. So I am dreading this month because we get hit with B and then right again in a row we get hit with D. And for whatever reason, my brain just really mixes them up. So don't be surprised if you see B's and D's getting mixed up over the next couple of weeks. So our first word is bunt, has the B at the beginning. It's also why I write naturally in all caps, because capital B's and D's don't get mixed up. Second word is bowl. Third word, we switch to the B's being in the middle. We've got a double with Abby. Fourth word, our B is still in the middle, but it's a single with vibe. We have our B at the end with club. Finally, a B at the end again with lamb. Very appropriate to have lamb on Easter, actually. I just realized that. I did not do that on purpose. Okay, so that is it. I am ready to go. I am going to zoom in, grab my pens, and we'll get started practicing. Okay, it's hand lettering time. So for my pens, I have the only pink Zebra Funwari. I have the only pink Tombow Fudenosuke. I have one of the, this is the more purple of the Guanyas. I thought it would match the darker color in the washi tape down here and give a little contrast to the pinks. And then I have the pink Pentel Touch. So I'm going to start down here with Ace. And then we'll switch over and learn the letter B. So working on my slant. Next, the Fudenosuke. My A and my C are so fat compared to my E. That's better. I don't think I've used this Guanya before, so it may look a little dry at first, but it'll get better. I may need to store these. I might try storing these tip down before my next video and see if that helps. I currently have them stored horizontally. And last, the Pentel. Those Pentels are always so juicy. All right, let's look at B. So it says, start with the ascender stroke and add the belly or O stroke to complete the letter B. So we're going to do it a loop and a down, just like the L, and then we're going to do an O. Let's see. And then they show, let's see, O. I'm not sure what this is representing here. let's see. Okay, so they actually have us doing a backwards O. This has the start point there and coming around and doing a backwards O, which our O's went counterclockwise and it wants us to go clockwise. That's the confusion. They should say a backwards O there. All right, so L, backwards O, and then they do a fun little whoop-de-doo on here. All right, and the whoop-de-doo there is going to be our connector point then, so that's why we may want to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pause this and grab my Tombow free download sheets, which I always have linked in the description box, and just see what their bees look like. Okay, so their bee is pretty similar. It starts with the L, and then they do the anti-O, the clockwise O instead of the counterclockwise O. They're just not doing the little connector. So theirs is a lot fatter, it's a lot less slanted. Again, make this your own. I'm going to practice it the way they've got it, and if I don't like it, then I'll consider some changes. So let's get started on this. Grabbing my zebra Funwari, and there's an L right there for reference. So we'll start with our L, light up, heavy down, and then light up, heavy down, light up, swish for the connector. That's not too bad, and it definitely says B to me, so I think I'll keep that for now. Mine are quite fat though. Definitely want to be careful not to drop too far down on your L stroke. It looks sloppy to me when I do that. And I want to try not to be too fat. Light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down, curl. Another reason not to come down too far is it makes it easier to connect there. Forgot to go heavy down there. Couple things I was noticing as I did that row. I definitely like the skinnier belly, and I'm just noticing that we're only coming up about halfway for this crossover, which is about what they're doing. I'm not quite doing as frilly as they do, but I'm just noticing this bottom where you can see a definite difference between the belly and the L versus this bottom where it's a smooth transition. So that's one little difference. You can decide which one you like better. It's hard though, I'll tell you what, it's hard to get that smooth transition. You're definitely not going to want to come down as far. Light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down. Okay, so here I was trying to stop quite a bit higher so I could get that smooth transition, and I don't think I like it as well as I do these where you can see the bottom of the downstroke. So I think I'm going to keep that. Again though, that's just personal preference. And there I forgot, for some reason I'm just not used to getting heavy right here on this belly portion of the bee. I've done that a couple of times now. Alright, I don't love them, but they're not terrible. So this first one is bunt, which is appropriate considering baseball season is kicking off soon. Light up, heavy down, light up, heavy down. Okay, the U, heavy down, light up, heavy down, light up. Didn't quite get those two to connect. N, heavy down, light up, heavy down, and T. Not bad. I don't have much of a slant there. We'll fix that. You're not imagining things. I started making the second part of the U a little bit short of the center line because I think when they're all three the same, I get lost between where the U ends and where the N starts. But when I leave this piece down a little bit lower, it much more easily looks like a U and then an N to me. Just stylistically, I like that better. So this is why, if you're feeling like you're getting close to going ahead and taking the plunge and writing a word in your planner for the very first time, a couple thoughts. Practice it first. Make sure you like the way it looks. Pay attention to all the teeny tiny little details like that. Then also maybe consider writing that letter in your planner in a place where if you don't like it, you can cover it up with a sticker, or you write it on a sticker, and if you don't like it, then you can grab a palette knife, grab some undo, and peel the sticker up. Just some thoughts so that you don't hate it and get frustrated and want to give up on your hand lettering. All right, so this is the Guanya. It's still looking a little dry. I'm going to definitely try storing these pen tip down after this video for next week. I think it also adds to the illusion of my slant, which I do prefer, because it looks like the U itself is slanting. I'm not sure why, because it's slanting the wrong way, but anyway. All right, next up we have bowl, again with the B at the beginning. Didn't quite come up high enough with that part of the W. I think I was still channeling my U there. And definitely remembering to start my O not at center line but below center line for me. I notice my little scoopy loopy connector thing on my B is getting lower, and I like it. I like it a lot. I think I'm going to keep it. I like this B way better than some of these with the very high where I come across. So accidental discovery that I'm keeping. Double B, here we come. Abby. Oh wow, so keeping the heights of these even, I think it's going to be important to make the difference between it looking practiced and good versus, for me at least, sloppy. And as I'm paying very much attention to this, I'm getting a little sloppy down below. It's a lot to remember. Whew, I don't know what happened with that one, but it is ugly. Okay guys, I do not like the word Abby. I don't know why, but it is so ugly. Maybe it's this big long crisscross here in the center. It just looks like I decided to cross the word out and then changed my mind, or I don't know. I'm not liking Abby though. Let me know what you think after you do it in the comments. You know, it might be any word that has a double letter in the center, because you have to make them so ridiculously perfectly the same. Otherwise, to me at least, it looks kind of sloppy. So maybe that's what it is. All right, page 1 is done. And my favorite, the V. Here we go with Vibe. Not terrible. Not my favorite, but not as bad as Abby. Club. The L and the B together. I've been practicing so many B's that I wanted to just make them both B's, so be careful there. I may have to work on bounce lettering next year. I think making this uneven, the U, is borderline a bounce lettering technique. And I like the way it looks so much. I wonder if I would like bounce lettering. Alright, last but not least is Lamb. I'm trying the slant from the U on the M, and I like it. That's a lot of pink. That's a lot of pink. Oh my goodness. So there we go, our first ascender. Not as bad as I thought it would be. So let me know your thoughts on ascenders. Are you excited? I am. The B is not as bad as I thought it would be. It looks pretty, relatively speaking, kind of complex, but the only hard part is when you're trying to switch back and forth between the L and the B, because when you come out of the B, you scoop one way, and when you come out of the L, you scoop the other way. So it does take some concentration, I tell you that much. Club, Lamb, Bowl, all of these that have the B and the L, I think I did I did us a favor accidentally without even knowing by including all of those, because having a B and an L in the same word is interesting. You'll see. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you like this video. I hope you're staying engaged and catching up or keeping up. You're definitely keeping me on track, so thank you very, very much for liking and subscribing and commenting. I very much appreciate all of it. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't yet. Thank you.